Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to convert between different imperial units. So, for example, converting between inches and feet and yards and miles. I'm going to show you the fastest way to convert between these units of measurement. So, I'll write down the units here. The main ones we'll be using are inches, feet, yards, and I'll throw in miles as well. So, on one side, I put a down arrow to show that inches going down to miles is getting bigger. So I'm going to put a divide sign on that side. And basically, the reason I'm doing this is just a little chart. So when we're converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, for example, inches to feet, going small to large, we're going to divide. And on the other side, I have an up arrow to show that miles to inches going that way is getting smaller, and when we're converting a larger unit going to a smaller unit, we're gonna multiply. So that's what that little graph is showing there. So you can write that down if you want to remember. It's like a little cheat sheet. And finally, the last thing you need to know is some basic conversions, and you might already know these by heart, or if you don't, you can quickly learn them right now or even just write them down. So we have feet to inches. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. You might know that from, say, a ruler. One ruler is a foot long and has 12 inches on it. And then if we go from feet to yards, 1 yard is 3 feet. And finally, this one's not as important because you probably won't deal with miles as much as these first two, so you might only need to learn the first two. But if you want to convert to miles as well, this one's a bit larger, but 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. So that's all the basic information you need to convert between imperial units. So let's try an example. So we have the example that we need to convert 9 yards to feet. So how many feet is 9 yards? Well, we can see that we're going from yards to feet. So a bigger unit to a smaller unit, which means we need to multiply based on our chart. So we're going to take 9 and multiply it. And now if we look at our unit conversion, 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So we have 9 yards. So to get that to feet, we're going to multiply by 3 because 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So that means that we have 9 times 3, which is 27. So 9 yards is equal to 27 feet. So that's cool, but what if we wanted to do 9 yards and convert that to inches? So we're skipping one. We're going straight from yards to inches. We're still going large unit to small unit, so we're still going to multiply. But whenever you're going to skip a unit down, it's best to do 2 steps so you don't have to remember as many conversions. So if we do that, we'll simply convert those yards to feet, and then we can convert those feet to inches. So we already have our feet here. So now we can just go one more step and convert that to inches. So we're going to multiply, but this time we're multiplying that 27 by 12, because 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, and we have that down in our little chart down the bottom here. So if we do that, we're going to get our total amount of inches. So this is quite a big calculation, so I'll type it into my calculator to save some time, and if I do that, I get 324. That means that 9 yards is equal to 324 inches. So we just went from yards to inches. Let's do one final example just to make sure you have this down, but this one's going to be a little different, as you'll see. So this time we want to convert 57 inches to feet. So how many feet is 57 inches? Now this one's different because inches is smaller than feet. So we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. And if you look at our graph, that means we're dividing because we're going small to large. So we have 57, and we're going to divide that, and if we look at our chart, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. That means we're going to divide by 12. So 57 divided by 12. That's a bit of a hard calculation. You can't do it in your head unless you're a genius. So you can do it by hand, or you can quickly type it in your calculator, which I have done here, and that will give us 4.75 feet. So 57 inches is equal to 4.75 feet. Now, you can take this one a step further, because 4.75, well, that's the same as 4 3/4. And if we convert that to have a denominator of 12, so we just times the top and bottom of the fraction by 3, that gives us 4 9/12. And that's interesting because that 12, that represents inches, meaning we can rewrite this answer. Instead of writing 4.75 feet, we can also put our answer as 4 feet and 9 inches, which just gives a little more detail. And that's how you convert between imperial units. The only example I didn't include is one including miles, just because that's probably going to be less common, and it's a little harder to do just because the conversion is so large, because miles is so much bigger than a yard. But if you do want to convert with miles, it's the same process as you saw in this video, just using miles. And the last thing I'll mention is, this is mostly if you're in school and you want to learn how to convert, or if you just want to do it by hand quickly, maybe you're working on a project, or just want to know the difference. But the quickest way, honestly, if you're just at home and you want to convert it, is you can just use Google. You can just search it up on the internet and it will pop you out an answer. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.